Hello, everyone. We are live. Sorry for the delay. It is normally a J. Anthony Brown and Damon Williams day. We are unable to get our two co-hosts on, so it's you and me for right now. I hope that you will participate and contribute as we talk about what's going on. And actually, that's a part of our open. What's going on? What's happening? What's the word? What's the haps? I come to you from actually a very strange Dallas Fort Worth. It's not 100 degrees today, and it wasn't yesterday. And I'm sure it's coming back. We've had rain and we've had lower temperatures. So I'm just very grateful for those things in life. Even able to get out and take a walk before it got real hot today, which never really happened. So I hope that you all are good wherever you are. I know that the fires from the west are going all the way up to Canada, and they have been creating problems for people to the upper Midwest, to the East Coast, and the storms that have gone through. One really very funny thing is, though, I get better information about the weather that's coming to Dallas, Fort Worth from a New York TV station than I do from our own local stations. And very precise. In 22 minutes, there will be a lightning strike in Dallas Fort Worth, or in Fort Worth, or in your neighborhood, or across the street. It's that kind of stuff. So that's what's going on with me, and we are just enjoying this weather. I haven't had to really turn on my sprinkler and water the grass and do all that kind of stuff. And so I'm very grateful. So that is what's happening with me as we go on. So let's talk about what's topical. Let's talk because there is a lot going on. I want to give a shout out to our friend, the Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes. He was among all of the members of the clergy, many members of the clergy, as well as politicians who were recently arrested as the Moral Mondays have moved across the country. Of course, last week was the 4-day march into the Capitol in Texas. They met and had a big rally on Saturday. Now they are in Washington, D.C., and a number of folks got arrested. And our friend, Dr. Freddie Haynes, was one of them, and reached out to him. And he was in the police department paying his fine, and went to another march where another group of people were arrested at the Supreme Court. And the lawyer told him, don't get arrested today, because they're going to be looking for you, and they will keep you longer this time. But among the people that have been there on the Moral Mondays, names that are familiar to many of us, and that, of course, is, as I mentioned, Reverend Haynes, as well as the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Bishop William Barber, and a number of our other friends who are in the movement and are doing things in order to kick off the demands, to keep the demands out in front. And of course, with the Poor People's Campaign and their partners, every time they open their mouths, every time the mic goes on, they ask and have their demands right there. A full restoration of the Voting Rights Act, which has been gutted by the Supreme Court. Passage of the For the People's Act, which cannot get through the Senate. A $15 minimum wage, which is something that they are not willing to do in the United States Congress. An end to the filibuster, which where that is in the United States Senate. And a fair and respectful treatment of the nation's 11 million immigrants. Those are the things that they ask for every time that they go forth and make their pleas known, their demands known, and they make their presence known. And so this is the time for us to stand by them. They say that they want them met by the 56th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act, which is the first week of August. The partners of this include the National Council of Churches, Black Women's Matter, Black Voters Matter, Forward Justice, the National Welfare Rights Association, Red Letter Christians, Indivisible, the Sunrise Movement, and more. And they're keeping it going. More arrests as they go. And they are also in full support of the Texans state legislators who have boycotted what's going on in the state of Texas at Austin. Shanta Brown says Dems need to pass these much needed and overdue rights in order to win re-election. Here's the thing, Shanta. We've got to vote more in order to get these things done too. This is it's which came first, the chicken or the egg? How do we get more of chickens without the eggs, or do we get but we have to vote, and today's a good example of that. And we'll talk about that in the What You Need to Know newsletter. But a big election today in the state of Ohio. For 2 congressional districts. The one that we talked about in the newsletter involves 4 Black women running for their party's nomination. 2 Black women running as Democrat for the Democratic nomination, 2 Black women running for the Republican nomination. And we have to vote and make sure these women are trying to win the seat in November that Marshall Fudge had to give up, the Congresswoman had to give up when she became Secretary of HUD. Nike Tim, we must make people know what the Republicans don't want us to have. Well, here we have it. They don't want us to have all the rights to vote. They want to prevent us from voting. They want to suppress the vote. They don't want us to have $15 an hour. What else? They don't want us to have the For the People's Act. And that, of course, and the restoration of the Voting Rights Act. And they don't really give a damn about the 11 million immigrants that are here in this country. And so all of these things are what they don't want us to have. And so this is why whenever these faith and political leaders come forth and they tell you what they want, those are the things that the Republicans don't want Black folks, especially people of color, to have. Shanta is back on now YouTube, and she says they have to get down and dirty like the Republicans. No time to play nice. And you know what? We've been saying that, Shanta. You are absolutely right. And we keep saying it. We keep saying it, and yet from the White House to the heads of Congress and the Senate, they don't want to do that. What they are looking at is, for years, especially from the president, God bless him, he's been around for 50 years, and he still wants things to go the way they have run over these 50 years. We have a different team in town as a result of the 2016 election, and especially the 2016 election. I mean, it was building up with the Tea Party and what have you, but this whole new group of folks, they don't care. And they will play down and dirty. I mean, right now they're gaslighting us about what happened January 6th. They don't want to. They can't figure out what these people are doing, and they're denigrating them. If you watch Fox News, how they are just castigating such doubt upon the strength and the veracity of these cops who were there to save the politicians' butts on January 6th. Saying that they deserve awards for their acting ability, that all of this didn't really happen, that people aren't dying, that the policemen aren't killing themselves as a result of what had happened. But you're absolutely right. We've got to get down and dirty. And why? Why do they play fair? Why? Because that's the innate goodness of them. But we got to, I can't say we cheat because. But Tom Joyner used to say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Huh? Yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you're not trying, you're not cheating. So if we have to do something that's, down and dirty as they are, I still believe, that we should follow the rules for most things. But I got to tell you, it's really important that we do have to lower ourselves and play some of those horrific games that they're playing as well. Tracy Scott, my dear friend of Black Women's PAC. I'll try to slow down on my big A words. But sometimes when I get excited, the words just come. And speaking of Tracy Scott, another thing that I do want to talk about, this is Black Women's Equal Pay Day. And that is something that is also in our newsletter today. I hope that you will stick around as we talk about that. But this is the day in which Black women have to work all last year and 215 days. That's where we are today to make what white men make in 365 days. It's over 500, almost 600 days that Black women have to make as much as white men make in 1 year. And that is Black Women's Equal Pay Day. And that's 63 cents. For every dollar the white man makes, it's 63 cents that a Black woman makes. And it's even lower for Black women who are parents. It's like 57 cents because of the money that they have to spend on childcare and all of that other kind of stuff too. Got it. I'm getting off point. Okay. This is also a busy day for President Biden. The extension of the moratorium to the eviction moratorium is going to come through. The CDC has announced that they are going to extend it for another 60 days. And I hope this means that Cori Bush, the congresswoman from St. Louis, and the other Democratic congresspeople, including Ayanna Pressley, Alexandria Cortez, Ocasio-Cortez, as well as Ilhan Omar, Congressman Bowman from New York, and these others, they can go home now. As we are now looking at the extension of the eviction moratorium to be they said for another 60 days. I'm not quite definite on the date. But while we're talking about this, I want to tell you about a discussion I had with a person who owns rental property. And we are not disregarding the people who own the rental property that are renting to people who cannot pay their bills. We don't want to disregard them. We admire people who, are in real estate and are able to rent homes and apartments to people who may not otherwise get the chance, to get these homes. And so we have to work from a two-pronged approach. We have to work to help the people who are still without jobs, who can't pay their rent, and put them in contact with all of the business programs, all the programs in the states, as well as the federal programs, to get that money to the landlords so that they can't kick you out, so that they can't do away with it. So we have to be mindful of both sides because a lot of us are on that side of property owners. And so let's look at that as well. So they're going to extend the eviction moratorium. And secondly, today, this is a big day in terms of what happened with the New York governor, Cuomo. Letitia James happened to him, baby. And the New York Attorney General issued almost a 170-page document citing him for abuse and sexual harassment of women. 11 women. It's one more. 11 women. And they got, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. We're in the Vineyard.
Oh, I forgot.
Me too, but we good. I'm the house DJ right now. I looked at my phone like, oh snap.
Damon, I forgot about the Vineyard, and you're going to be there for 3 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the first week.
Yes, we started last night. We got Mark Curry and a brother named Drew Thomas. Very funny cat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a little time to spend with us today?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to find the plug for the Obama party. I got a guy.
I was gonna ask you about that. Okay. We're gonna talk about that.
You had two unreliable Negroes today, huh?
I know. Hey Jay,
hey Sybil, what's up?
Are you in the Vineyard
what's up,
too?
man?
What's up? Y'all gotta join the party.
Okay.
Because Jada's here too.
Oh, cool. Yes. Hey, Juanita. Hey, Honey Jack. Hey, Mark Curry. How are you?
This was the problem.
Looks like a little little Tito's to me.
Jay, we just called you a few minutes ago. He just got on.
And Jay just froze and he's out.
All right.
Okay.
So I decided to turn up your show. Here we go.
Okay. Damon, it is now time for us to go to our next section and what's really going on. And so this might be something that you can open up to your crowd there as well. Okay. Michael Che is back on Instagram after his Simone Biles jokes went flat and led him to say that he was hacked. Had you seen this story?
No, he was what?
He said he was hacked because of his Simone Biles jokes.
That's the go-to line.
Right.
The baby was hacked too, and he was on stage.
Well, we're going to talk about DaBaby too as a part of this. So he, over the weekend, these jokes about Simone Biles and not only about her dropping out of the Olympics, but then he started talking about her mental issues and the fact that she, told folks that she was sexually assaulted by the doctor that assaulted so many of the young girls. And so he just got pillaged. Everybody was coming after him. A number of people. And they said that he got on and said, oh man, guess what? I got hacked. But he also said at the same time, I got like 3 minutes of Simone Biles jokes in my head. I'm going to the cellar tonight to say them into a microphone. And he says he's choosing violence in reference to the Comedy Cellar, which is a club in New York City. He did not make an appearance there, but he did make an appearance somewhere else. And so, Damon, to you and to your audience, do you believe him? Or is this, because I didn't initially believe him, and I talked to some female comedians, and they're like, I really hope that he did get hacked because this is horrible, the things that he said. But that's what he does. That's who Michael Che is.
Well, first of all, whenever there's a taboo subject, what people in comics especially have to remember is when you attack a taboo subject, it has to be done in a manner where the subject of the joke, can laugh. Because if it's something that they can laugh at, then it's probably not unacceptable. Even if you do not homophobic material, but material about the LGBTQ, if they are laughing with you, then it's a good joke. So first thing, I'll say that. Secondly, was it funny? The comments he made, were they funny?
No. But I'm not a Michael. But here's the thing. I'm not a Michael Che fan. I think that he is rude, crude, and generally not funny. And I think that you guys, that my friends in the business, are clever. You're smart. Like you say, you know how to craft a joke in order to make it so that, these people are in on the joke. Or as J. Anthony Brown would do in a joke and then say, too soon?
Well, it's definitely too soon to do a Simone Biles joke, especially if it's attacking her stance on mental health.
Yeah.
That's a oops, because you don't want not only the people who are sympathetic to her circumstances and it being on such a world stage and people that are dealing with those issues of such, but you also don't want the crazy people messing with you. If you're doing jokes about people being crazy, you don't want the crazy people coming at you. So that's a lose-lose, bro.
Yeah.
So I doubt if he was hacked though.
Yeah, I do too. Jay, are you following this Michael Che story?
I didn't hear who did a bad joke. It could have been anybody. I don't know who it was. It
was anybody. Michael Che from Saturday Night Live, the stand-up comedian. He does weekend updates.
Oh yeah. I heard about him doing a joke about Simone Biles. I mean, like Damon was saying, that session is off limits. Saturday Night Live has this attitude sometimes to always make a joke about what's in the news, because that's what they do. So, there's a small pocket of people that will laugh at it, but it's like any joke you do, you have to be prepared for the backlash that's going to come.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time he's done that. This is not the first time he's done jokes that are quote unquote off limits. It's what that news thing does. It's the way they work it. So
Well, here's the thing. Saturday Night Live is on vacation. They're on summer break, right? And so he later claimed that when he said his account was hacked, he said, "Man, I got hacked today. Can't believe they got me. Y'all know I only do jokes about whites and cops. It's all good now. I changed my password and everything. Anyway, y'all hear about the baby though? That's crazy."
Was this, well, personally, I mean, this is just me. Personally, his stand-up ain't that damn funny to me. It never has been. You know, if he's not reading copy, he's just not funny to me, his stand-up. But he is what he is. And so that's just the way it is, you know. You got to pay for the joke you do. Like Damon was saying earlier, you know, when we do jokes on stage, we try to make sure you can make fun of people, but you want to make fun of people that way they feel comfortable and not, you know, not feel at ease, so that they'll come back to the damn club.
Right. And that's coming from two club owners too.
No, but I will tell comics all the time, you know, like a lot of times a white couple will come in and you have a comedian go on stage and then he'll just hone in on that white couple. But
Yeah.
when he brings his ass off stage, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to tell him to leave them fucking people alone. Those are paying customers. You know, find some other jokes. You did your hit. You got a hit. You got to laugh. Now move on. I mean, I don't know how Damon does it, but I'll do it because it's important to have a mixture in your audience.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes
and no
you
one,
need to
and
be
no,
told you can't
and no
say
one
that.
should feel attacked by your humor, and that's
Right.
that's the key to it. I mean, even if you do a public figure, it's a way to do it. I mean, like our mayor of Chicago, who I'm not a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about her appearance, but I talk about her clothes all the time, and that's not a birth defect. That's a choice. You know what I mean? She went past a lot of nice outfits to get to those outfits. So she showed up at the Lollapalooza looking crazy, and I said,
Right.
"This will happen when you marry a white woman. She lets you come out the house looking any kind of way."
I saw
But
that
she can easily
online.
say, "Okay, let me take off this shirt, let me take off this hat, and move on with her life." I might have helped her life with that.
Yeah, I saw that online, Damon.
That was funny, Damon. That was very funny.
And you're
I
absolutely right.
agree.
A white woman will let you go out the house dressed any kind of way.
You know this for a fact, huh?
You know I know that. You know I know that.
All right. So let me ask the folks who are watching this, as well as you guys, because the cancel culture is real. So do you think that that he should have practiced some censorship, or do you think the comedian should practice some censorship, or should they be canceled? Because there was discussion, even though Saturday Night Live is on break, people are saying, "Oh, he should be fired from Saturday Night Live."
Here's the thing
HBO
about
should never
comedy.
give him another special.
Here's the thing about comedy, and Damon will add on to this. You can get somebody to laugh at anything you say. You can. There's a group of people, no matter how sick, demented you are, in you know, in my mind, if we're making judgment on somebody, you can get a group of people to laugh. But you can also get a group of people to blast your ass on the internet once you do the damn joke. So,
Right.
you know, you have to decide, am I going to do something that's going to cause a lot of people to hate me or get angry at me, or am I going to go in a different direction? So he has his right to do that joke.
Right.
But the people have their right to wear his ass out on the internet. So, you know.
Yeah, and it depends on if you find yourself in a niche, because there are different you know, categories of comedy. Like there's a complete category called cringe comedy, where the whole point is to be as offensive as you can. But do enough people appreciate the cringe to pay your bills off of them? And that's what you got to think about. You know, you can be in that category. You can be that. You could be a goth comic. You could be a dark comic. You could be a lighthearted. You could be a satirist, or you can think about being a general market comedian and cater to a wider scale of people, so you have more opportunities. But like Chappelle he has such a strong following that he can't be canceled because there's so many people that are going to roll with him. So he can do jokes about transgender like he did on his last special, and then double down on it when they come at him because he felt it was funny, and he did it in a funny way. When you don't attack your subject matter, as opposed to commenting on the subject matter.
Right.
That's the difference. I don't know what Michael Che did, but they like to attack people on Saturday Night Live, and that's what they did to Eddie Murphy way back in the day, and he wouldn't go back because he didn't understand that line. You can't be attacking people. So, it's all about what your numbers look like and what your household can afford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys, because as you mentioned earlier, Damon, the baby, he got axed from Lollapalooza in Chicago, and then a number of others. I think right now he's straight out.
Well, the baby wasn't trying to be funny. He was trying to be real, and it turned on his ass. It really did. And
but this is a part of the cancel culture. Should someone?
Chris Brown said, "Sing."
I'm not hearing Jay. I don't know if
Jay, are you on a track phone?
He muted.
Oh, Jay, you're muted. Your mic is muted. There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
So you were saying now what?
I was saying that it's like you have the right, like the basic thing, you have the right to say whatever it is you want to say.
Right.
You can say anything you want to say. You can say it. That's the right you have. But you got to know that when you say something, quote unquote, ignorant, they're going to weigh your ass out on Twitter. And that was just an ignorant thing for him to say. It just really was, and now he's paying for it, and it's a little bit too late for him to apologize.
So let me ask you this. Because and this is real now. Not only are we talking about Black folks that are angry at them for the things that they said, for the joke, or for what's going on in their head, like the baby, but the whole LGBTQ community is really strong these days, and this is what's really playing a part for the baby in his being canceled now in a number of these really big shows.
And what he has to realize is they have a strong hold and a presence in entertainment. And a lot of times when you're up there on stage, you got a mic in your hand, you feel like you're just talking to your fans or you're talking to somebody right now. So if he said it and they heard about him saying it, that'd be one thing. But now you have to remember it's documented, it's replayed. It goes out exponentially around the globe in seconds. So now there's nowhere to hide from your remarks. And still, he can recover from this because he has enough homophobic, strong following that probably agree with what he said. They like, well, Lil Nas X could be gay. He could talk about anti-gay. So, but the people that run these arenas, the people that pay for the commercials and pay for the promoters, that's where you got to watch the line because they have to answer the people.
Once I heard him make the comment and then he tried to apologize, I thought it would be fitting that he be in the next Lil Nas video as a naked dancer.
On the remix right now. We need to jump on the Nas remix right now.
Now, be in the video Nas the remix right now and all might be forgiven, huh?
Butt naked, balls out.
Have you guys ever been close to that whole I mean, your comedy is obviously very different. And the only cancellation you may have had is from women. But have you ever been close to, gotten close to somebody saying, "Oh man, I'm done with you," or "You can't be on this show because of something a joke you've made"?
I don't think anyone has told me that that's the situation, but I do know that when I did Bad Boys of Comedy, my terminology, when I look back at it, was kind of, I used the word wrong. So I said, it's one thing when two men want to get together, I said by mistake, that's just wrong because one of y'all got to decide who's going to be the boy. So the joke is like, at that point, you got to make a decision. Like, oh, you talking about fucking me? No, we ain't doing that. I thought you trying to get me some head or something. You talking about fucking me? We ain't doing that. That's gay. So. But I said, when you with it, you going, behind, that's just wrong. And I used to term that's just wrong. And it was P. Diddy Bad Boys. And ain't no telling what Diddy might have put out in the world after that. But that's a whole other story.
I'm the same with Damon. There's some jokes that I've done back in the day that I don't do anymore because they're quote unquote, they were funny, I thought they were very funny. But and when it comes to same-sex marriage and relationship,
You muted yourself again.
He's freezing.
Oh, okay.
you know what? I can hardly hear you guys, and Damon.
Okay.
I mean,
Go out and come back in, Jay. I think you got a bad connection.
Jay,
you hear me?
Yolanda said, do you have earbuds?
In what?
Earbuds. Do you have earbuds?
No.
I'm thinking this internet connection, to be honest, because it's spotty.
Yeah.
But back to the topic at hand. Material can become passé as society evolves. Of course, my son made me more aware of how homophobic and misogynistic comedy was in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that, on top of the fact that, I've evolved as well and have learned different terminology. Because Eddie Murphy, for instance, if you look at Delirious, he could not do half of his set.
No, he couldn't do half of that stuff.
Today's climate.
No, right.
Right.
I mean, he come right out and say gays are not allowed to look at my ass, but he used the F word, and so it wouldn't fly today. So he'd be apologizing for the rest of his career if he tried to do that.
Right.
So we learned, so maybe the baby, by the time he's the adult, he will be back in
the adult.
My wife said by the time he's become, he'll be the elder.
All right, Damon, we're going to take you now and talk a little bit of news and the news headlines and what you need to know news. I'm going to save this story. Hopefully Jay will get back because this is somebody that is he's a big fan of, involved in an election today in Ohio. But let's talk about election workers. Damon, have you ever worked as a poll worker, as an election poll worker in Chicago?
Not the poll, but I worked at the precinct for Harold Washington's campaign. So I was a volunteer for sure. I never did the actual polling place day of, but I definitely worked on the campaign and knew the process. Yeah.
So I did too. I didn't work the precinct. I worked the polls on the election days, right? And so there is so much now as a result of the 2020 elections in places all over the country that people are really afraid of going back and participating as a poll worker anymore. They say the violence is just ridiculous. The changes that they have made in terms of who is there and who's in charge, as well as the fact that they still don't get paid what they should get paid, right? And so they are predicting that this is going to prompt enormous numbers of resignations for people that they normally counted on to come in and work. In the What You Need to Know newsletter, we talk about the fact that people are now just saying, it's not worth it. It's not. And they say 1 in 6 local election workers said that they experience violence, and 1 in 3 said they feel unsafe because of their job. And low morale amongst these workers is leading to high turnover. And this is going to really affect us, especially as we get close to next year and the midterm elections.
Well, I think if they eliminate the pandemic unemployment relief, because it's hard to get people to work anywhere right now. Every place we go, understaffed. Even here at Martha's Vineyard, our show was semi-delayed because the kitchen was backed up because it's hard to find people to work. So especially a volunteer under duress and the threat of danger. But hopefully the democratic process will take place. I know in Chicago, I think the poll workers do get paid.
Yeah, some places.
Yeah, I think they do get paid, and actually you get paid for training as well. But it's not enough to go in there and risk a threat.
Right.
So I would say for us, like in our communities, I think you'll be okay. It's the places where you have the bipartisan voters, because in Chicago and everywhere I vote, it's all us anyway. Right. So they wouldn't dare come over there and try it. In fact, even a Republican, you got to come in as a disguise because it's only one booth for them. So
there is one booth. You're right. Right. There's a wall full of Democratic booths, and for the Republicans, it's one.
And then they give you a thing. They call out Republican. So you got to come in there with the Groucho. You got to be a brave soul to vote on 79th Street as a Republican.
Well, this is where before I moved. When did you move? In 1962?
Exactly. So like I said, I think it's in areas where there's opposition and where the opposition feels emboldened enough to threaten poll workers. Because, like I said, like if you vote in Atlanta and you in DeKalb County, you should be okay. But it's out there in the skirts. So I don't know. This whole thing, pretty soon everything will be virtual anyway.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
I think voting online it should, for a number of places. What is it? Oregon that does it, and or mail-in ballot or whatever. But it is I think the wave of the future, and I really hope that it does. And I'm really surprised that this whole pandemic thing hasn't really done more to extend the voting online situation.
Yeah, some type of other system. It's an antiquated system to come in and punch holes in the card or scratch lines with a marker. I know they do have the touch screens in some places, but for us to in person have to show up and line up and do it this way, eventually it's gonna phase out. I mean, we got billionaires playing in space for no reason. We should at least be able to update and upgrade our election system.
Okay.
But
I would like them to stay on Earth. I'd like the billionaires to stay on Earth and take care of a lot of things here before they go off into space again and call themselves astronauts. But that's a whole nother thing. So we have Jay coming. You are persistent. I love that.
I can't hear.
You can't hear us now?
It's like really muffled. I don't.
Wah, 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 wah. Huh? Are you in your new house? We gotta get you some real broadband there for the new house.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Are you gonna stay with us? Because I mean,
yeah, turning the phone is not gonna change it, Jay.
It's like working with Papa, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. What if I do this? It's not how Wi-Fi works, Jay. Well, hold on. Let me go diagonal.
Where's the antenna?
Right. He's gonna cuss me out when he come back.
So, Damon, you are on Martha's Vineyard, and I'm assuming that you've seen a lot of changes since you were there last year before last, and so we lost Damon too.
I'm still here. Hold on.
Oh, you're in audio only. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should just be still. Stop touching shit.
I can't tell you how many times. So as a result of the coronavirus, and
no, you can't just skim over that one. Be still. Quit touching shit. If you would just be your ass still, quit touching shit, we can achieve something here.
We can both be happy.
This can have a happy ending. You tried to drop it in subtle. Nah, that was a gem. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. So this is, in the newsletter every day we talk about the coronavirus, and of course now things are ramping up again as a result of the Delta variant. So you don't have anything to compare with in terms of what has happened on Martha's Vineyard as to what you are experiencing now, but certainly just since you were there before the pandemic and now, what kind of things are you seeing? The changes you talked about, the people working and not having enough employees and things like that. Are some other things that you're seeing that you hadn't experienced?
Well, one of the changes or the differences you can see is white people don't give a damn and black people wearing masks.
Okay.
So like 70% of our audience kept their mask on for some portion of the show, but 0% of the white people had on masks.
Yeah.
And there's an arrogance and a stubbornness about them, where their freedom is not going to be infringed on. It's a lot of high to do, can't be told what to do, especially the kids and everything over here. So it's interesting in that way. Otherwise, I mean, it's the flow is the same. The population is smaller. Some people are skeptical, want to wait one more year.
Sure.
I know the ferry coming over wasn't as crowded as it normally is. So that works for me because, less people, less variant.
Right.
And we're masking it up as much as we can when we think we should, and we're just trying to go about it. I mean, to be honest, Cape Cod had a spike in July that was documented, even a breakthrough cases. So it was a thought, and plus we're here in a place with a limited hospital capacity.
Right.
I think the hospital here only has 3 ICU beds, and then you'd have to be medevaced out. And we heard like 2 or 3 helicopters last night. We was like, uh-oh.
Really?
But I think that was Secret Service clearing the way for the party tomorrow. I think that was the Hennessy being flown in.
that was, and that took 2 deliveries.
Yeah, it was Hennessy, Harold's, and Leon's ribs from Chicago.
You take the boy out of Chicago. I hear you. Okay, so one of the things that is happening is there is a regression in terms of people thought in terms of progress, and the mayor of New York has implemented mask wearing inside restaurants and places like gyms and things like that. Do you think has that come to where you are, but you mentioned people wearing their masks, but do you think that this is going to affect business overall?
Yeah, I don't think the mandate is in Massachusetts, or especially in this area. But I think that's where we're probably headed if the numbers don't start to level off or decrease. Right. And I think rightfully so, because we learned that's how we got down to the low percentile, was by masking up and keeping social distance. And then they just released the hounds and let everybody outside again, full-fledged. And that's cool, but we should have still kept practicing those things. And the Delta really kind of coincided right with the drop off, like right when we were at less than 1% in Illinois, and we started hanging out again. Then the Delta popped up, and it wasn't even in the U.S., but then it came. And once it came, obviously it's proven that it spreads fast and it's potent. So I just think everybody should practice caution, even if you are vaccinated, but especially the non-vaccinated. Because they're saying like 98% of the people hospitalized or killed are from the unvaccinated people. So if that ain't proof enough to the anti-vaxxers and the Tuskegee people, come on, man.
Yeah, it's bananas. I find that just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it just like as you said there, it's Black folks that we're wearing our mask and white folks are not.
Yeah. I mean, but we're skeptical, scary people as it is. The boogeyman always been a part of our makeup,
Yeah.
Depending on whatever topic it is. And that's contributed to people being skeptical about the vaccine. So it's backfiring in that way, but it also leads more people to wearing their masks. And I hope we can figure it out and get past this thing, man, because it's ruining everything.
It really is. I mean, all over the world, it is. It's not just a East Coast, a Midwest, West Coast thing. It's not just a United States thing. It's a worldwide pandemic, and it is.
Well, there's a group of people that are probably rooting for the Delta, and that's the toothless and the robbers.
Because
that's
right.
Stick-up dude is around here sneezing on everybody. How'd you like
He had a mask on. Well, so does he, and he. Anthony Sanders says, "Do you wear a mask around your friends? Depends on the friends." But yeah, I mean, so let me ask you this, because you now have a group of comedians who are in the house, right?
Right.
Did you all get tested and do all of that before you all came to the house?
We're all fully vaccinated. That was what we decided that we should be. That should be the case. We haven't all been tested. And a test today doesn't dictate what you have tomorrow.
Right.
So if we're going to be here, we got to ride it out. But everybody's fully vaccinated. That was our requirement. And so, with that being the case, if anyone here somehow gets affected, we won't kill them. So especially we're not going to kill them before they finish the week out. But we done sold these tickets. You'll have to tell some jokes.
Damon, I know you have daughters, and I know that you're married to a very strong woman. One of the things that I just want to make note of is that today is Black Women's Equal Pay Day. We don't, as we come to the end of the What You Need to Know section, what you need to know is, and as a man who is a strong man with strong Black women around you, your manager is a strong Black woman. Black women have to work over 500, almost 600 days to make what one white man makes in 1 year. So it's 365 days plus 215 days into August 3rd to make it. So it's just ridiculous.
So I was wondering who you were comparing that equal pay to, because a lot of Black women make a lot more money than a lot of Black men. So to be equal, they'd have to take a pay cut to be equal to some of these ninjas.
Well, just be mindful.
I'm a strong advocate for women and women empowerment, women equality or superiority. At some point, I'm ready to sit back and let y'all take the wheel, because the pandemic showed that we wouldn't even made it through without Black women. So, that goes for every area. And it's come to a point where, to be honest, we wouldn't survive without you all. So naturally, you should make as much or more than everybody, in my opinion.
And we have to talk about it, Damon, because if we don't do something about it, they said this is going to go on till the year 2130. So it's now time for entertainment. And I might have been the only one, but I was up at 4 o'clock this morning to watch Simone Biles.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are the only one. And I don't even care what time zone you were in. You were that person. That you were their rating.
Let me ask the folks who are watching this now. Was I alone? Was anybody with me? I was even on with radio people this morning, and they were like, "Yeah, you were alone. You were alone."
Yeah, in the land of replays and DVRs.
I know.
But I mean, I understand, because we came in. They did want to stay up. A couple of guys did stay up because they wanted to see the 200-meter race and some other races. Mm-hmm. And we only have one TV here, so that's gonna be a problem this week. Yeah. That, and it's right outside our room because we're on the main level. So I'm gonna be that old grumpy dad. Remember how your dad used to come out and make y'all cut that damn TV off? When nobody gonna be up at 4 a.m. outside my door watching Simone, Nina Simone, Sade, no damn body.
Well, you can watch it. You can watch it later on, but just so you know, she won the bronze in the and so this was her last. This was the last event for gymnastics, and she has tied with Shannon Miller with the most medals at 7 of any person in the gymnastics forum coming out of the Olympics. So good for her. And she also shared that she had to learn this all over again. It was like learning to do what she does all over again because of what was going on inside of her head and getting the twisties, and as she called it.
Wow, and that's pretty good to finish bronze on that little bitty plank. I mean, she should have tried to learn how to do the other things. That's the hardest one of all. It looks like.
What I thought. And watching those girls was amazing. And the balance, I mean, my balance is always off, but it has nothing to do with anything. Right. But come on.
We stumbled on the sidewalk. Jada fell all the way down. But she held her food up. She fell in slow motion, but that fish survived.
David, do you remember being on the cruise when George, with the drink, fell in the pool?
We just talked about that. After that, we talked about that today. DJ Dollar Bill is here too.
Oh, Thomas, hi.
People don't know, but it's a notorious incident. George Daniel was walking. Everybody he was doing his thing, and he walked in the pool. He had his drink, and he stumbled into the pool, and the drink survived. Meanwhile, he told me later, he said, man, it was messed up. I had my phone, my wallet, everything in my pockets, but I saved that drink. He said my wallet, my credit card, my phone.
Everything, but not my drink.
Not the vodka.
So Damon, I do want to talk to you before, as we wrap up, I do want to talk to you about what's going on in terms of a certain person's 60th birthday party.
The person here, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I should have started sooner because I have a direct plug to our former president, his right-hand man, son. Oh, are you froze? Oh, okay,
No, I'm here.
his right-hand man's son and Damon played basketball against each other. So his son went to lab, but he also went to MPA for a little while.
Mhm.
So I reached out to him, but I was on the low. I sent him an invite to the festival, and I'm waiting on him to respond to say he can or cannot make that. Well, since you can't come here,
Let us bring the comedy to you.
I mean, I'm here. I ain't doing nothing.
Damon, for people who want to come and come see you specifically, if it's not too late, I know you've got a couple of weeks. How can they do that?
Martha's Vineyard ComedyFest.com. We've moved the shows because the theater we used the last 2 years during COVID shut down. But we're getting a special permit to go to that theater for 2 extra shows. But Martha's Vineyard ComedyFest.com. And it's not sold out. And if you're in the Boston or the Massachusetts area, you can jump on the ferry, do a day trip, come do a show and go on back. Otherwise, plan for next year because this is an annual event.
Yeah.
And now that you know, if you didn't hear about it before, every year in August, first 3 weeks is the premier event of the summer on the island. And I'm very proud of that. We've gone through some adversities. The first year we were off the beaten path in this little theater that looked like the set of To Kill a Mockingbird. I swear it did. It was hot in there. I felt like Atticus.
Scout.
Yeah. We moved to a better location, but that location transformed into a housing because most of the workers here are immigrants and they come from the Eastern European bloc mostly. And so the guy had an upstairs, downstairs, and a triple level place, and he turned the upstairs into housing because they can't find housing because housing's so expensive and so scarce for workers, so they couldn't afford to work and stay here. So that took that spot. But we've evolved. We were run off the island 1 year by a hurricane. So we had to end 2 days early. So we're happy to be here. It's our 10th annual, 11th year. Martha's Vineyard Comedy Fest, Martha'sVineyardComedyFest.com. And Kim Whitley's coming next week.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's going to be, Hurricane Kim is going to come on in.
Hurricane Kim and Tornado Joshua.
No, for real. Yes. In your house?
Our house.
Oh my God, Damon. Damon, thank you so much for giving your time and coming on with us. We really appreciate it. Once again, give people the address, the email, or I'm sorry, the web address.
Well, go to DamonWilliamsComedy.com for anything I do and everything, but Martha's Vineyard ComedyFest.com, and you can catch us anytime. So at some point we may consider streaming the shows or rebroadcasting them. So stick around, check. I'll be here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. I got my time zone. I got my time zone and my tequila mixed up today. So I'm gonna set an alert every week.
And give my love to the girls, to the ladies there, and I really appreciate you.
Let me say this. Juanita's birthday is this Saturday. This Sunday. I keep saying Saturday. This Sunday. And she's doing photos every day leading up to a finale.
Saw.
Yeah. Woo! But wait till you see Sunday. Starting Saturday night at midnight, she's going to break the internet.
So I saw a picture today and I was like, whoa. And she mentioned, the birthday thing. So it's Sunday. Okay.
Yes, the birthday is Sunday.
All right.
Yes. So
and you both are going to enjoy the birthday.
Oh yeah. It's always a present when I unwrap it. But look here. J_Bolar on Instagram.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Follow her. She gives great workout stuff, and seeing you two together is also wonderful as well.
Well, good to see you, and I wish you would come over here one year.
You know what? I said it when we finished. I was going to try to do it, and I just haven't had to. I haven't had a chance, but I will. I'm
going to make sure Myra J is here again next year. We love having her here. And so that would be a great, and I'm trying to get Kim and Sherry next year as well.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, darling. Thank you so much. Go back to your company and to your folks, and I will see you soon.
All right. Love you all.
All right. Here we have
Yogi.
Yogi's Jewels, the daily inspiration. Change is the companion to growth. Change is the companion to growth. So come on in here, growth. Let's go. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. Bye.